in text area can we create? Okay. Next, we learn something called it as patterns. So why we are using patterns attribute in the input tag? Why we are using patterns attribute in the input tag? Exactly, to give the conditions for the user's input. Whenever you want to provide the conditions for the user's input, that time we are going to use the patterns attribute. And in this patterns attribute, we are using two important components. What are that? Exactly, we are using the square bracket as well as flower bracket. Why we are using square brackets? Why we are going to use the square brackets? Good to mention the contents which I want to allow in the input box. Why we are going to use the flower brackets? Timing count. So we are using the flower brackets to mention the length of the content. Okay. Done. After that, just tell me if I want to change the text color of a particular case. Then which attribute we are using? If I want to change the text color or if I want to change the background color, then which attribute we are using in the HTML tag? Good, we are going to use the style attribute. And within style attribute, which CSS property we are using to change the text color? Correct, we are using the color CSS property. After that, to change the background color, we are using the background color CSS property. Done. So as I said yesterday that today we are going to learn about HTML tables. So why we are using HTML table? Reason is simple. If you observe the HTML forms output, supposedly this is the output of HTML form. You only tell me whether this output is present in a proper alignment or alignment is improper. Are you able to see this output in a proper alignment? No. So why we are in the basic level, like already you know that tables. If you want to display the table-like structure on the web page, you can go with the HTML table. But other than that, the another purpose of the HTML tables is nothing but whenever you want to create or whenever you want to give the proper alignment for HTML form element. Why? Because at this point, HTML form elements are not present in a proper alignment. Proper alignment in the sense, this all the labels has to be in one line and all the input tag has to be in one line. But you can't see that kind of alignments over there. So how you can give the proper alignment for the HTML form content? So it is possible by using the concept call it as HTML tables. So we have, whenever you are using only HTML forms, whenever you are using only HTML forms, that time you will get the improper alignment. You will get improper alignment for HTML tables. But if you are going to use the HTML tables along with HTML forms, then you can give the proper alignment. You can give the proper alignment for HTML elements. That time you can give the proper alignment for the HTML element. So remember guys, only by using the form tag you can't give the proper alignment. If you want proper and perfect output for the HTML forms, then go with the HTML table. To represent the HTML table concept in hypertext markup language, we are using the tag call it as table tag. Now how you are going to work with the HTML table? So first thing, you have to decide how many rows as well as how many columns you required in your table. How many rows as well as how many columns you required in your table, because as you know that every table content is nothing but rows and column. So firstly, using the HTML table, first thing, decide how many rows and how many columns you require in your table. Supposedly, here, I want to create the something structure like this. Here I want to display enter name. Here I want to display one input box. Here enter mobile. I want to display another input box. Then enter email. Again one more input box, and downside this, in the center I want to display one button, call it as register. So just tell me now, for this kind of output, how many rows and how many columns are required? How many columns are required for this? For this type of output, how many columns are required? How 4 columns, Raja? Mahesh, can you count it? A column, simple. For label, 1 column. For input box and button, 1 column. So 1 plus 1. Okay, good. How many rows are required? Rows. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4th one for the button. Fourth one for the button. So here in the HTML, if you want to represent the rows, then we are using the TR tag, which stands for table row. If you want to represent table column, then we are using the TD tag. TD tag stands for table data. So remember, if you want to represent the rows, we are using TR tag. If you want to represent column, we are using TD tag. So overall code, how you are going to write, just observe. In table tag, you are going to mention the TR tag, and in TR tag, you are going to mention the TD tag. Means first row contains the 2 column, second row contains the 2 column, like this. Close the TR tag, close the table tag. Are you able to understand, guys? Is it clear how you can create the table as well as what are the tags we are going to use in that? Okay. TR tag we are using for table row and TD tag we are using for table data. Your table contains the rows. To represent that rows, we are using the TR tag. Means this is the first row. In this first row, 2 columns are there. This is the second row. In this second row, 2 columns are there like that. If you want to represent, we are going to use the TR as well as TD tag. So observe same task we will perform in the HTML file. So Control Shift N, just create one HTML file. Remove the meta tag and here just give the tab name as HTML tables. After this, create the form tag, close the form tag. In the form tag, use one tag, call it as table tag and close the table tag. Inside the table tag, create the first row. So now, if you are using the TR tag as well as TB tag, here it's your choice whether to give the direction you are going to use the label or not. If you are going to use the label, it is fine. If you are not using the label also, it is fine. Supposedly, in the first row, in the TD tag, I am going to use the label. TD. Now this is the first column. Now second column we are going to create. In the second column I want to display one input box. So input tag, close the TD tag. First row is completed. Now create the second row. Close the TR tag. Inside this I am not going to use the label tag. Within a TD tag itself I will give the direction, so enter mobile. Just close the TD tag. Create the another column. In that, just create the input box. Second row is completed. Now create the third row. Again in the third row, create 2 columns. Enter. Close the TD tag. Close TD. Create the input type equals to email. Close it, close the TD. Now, fourth row. In the fourth row, just tell me, in first column, any contents are there? In fourth row, first column, any contents are there? Yes or no? Okay, so here, just simply I will place TD and close the TD tag. And here, I will just choose TD tag, second TD tag, type equals to submit and value equals to register. Close the input tag and close the TD tag. Just save it. So today's date is 9/2.html. Now just observe here. Execute the file. This is the output with your HTML table and this is the output without HTML table. So are you able to observe that you got the proper alignment? Now just one change we have to do here. I want to represent this button in the center of the input tag. So which tag we are going to use, just observe here. Whenever you want to place this particular button in a center of the input tag, then this input tag I am going to place inside the center. Before input tag, use this, open the center tag. After input tag, just close the center tag. Just save it, go to the browser and refresh it. Now you will get the button in the center of the input box. So are you able to understand, guys, how you can give the proper alignment for your particular HTML form contents? Just by using the three tag, that is nothing but table, tr and td. Table for whole HTML table, tr for rows and td for column. Here whether you are going to place the direction in the label tag or without the label tag, you will get the same output. And to represent any content in a center, just you have to use the center tag. Just type so here if you click on register, you can get this. Please fill out this field. So how you are using the particular form tag, same only, but instead of using only form tag, we are using the table tag within that. Laptop. Then my issue wrote the wrong pattern, that's the reason. Tag, just save it, go to the browser and refresh it. Your text will appear in a bold format. So whenever you are going to use the table tag, no need of using the strong tag for getting your bold text. Instead of that, you can use the tag, call it as th tag. You can replace this td tag with the th tag, and you can observe over here you will get the text in a bold format. So remember, no need of strong tag to get the bold text. You can use the th tag. Monica, th stands for table heading. Th stands for table heading. So that's the reason when generally if you observe on the newspaper or anything, headings are present in a bold format. That's the reason here if you use th tag, automatically you will get your each and every component in a bold format. So remember, for normal text go with the td tag, but if you want your text in a bold format, go with the th tag instead of strong tag. In the tr tag only we are using the th tag also. Is it clear, guys? Just try to use it like registration. I want to display about this particular label and input box. So how we can display like this? Just observe here. About the enter name, just create one more row, tr, close the tr. Now here in this one row, I will use the th tag. In the th tag, simply I am going to write registration and close the th tag. Just save it, go to the browser and refresh it. So your output will appear like this. Now this particular registration I want to display in a center in between enter name as well as in between your particular input box. In a center I want to display this. So here you can't use the center tag. For this, what is the logic we are going to use? With the TH tag, I will use the call span attribute. What is call span? Call span is nothing but whenever you want to merge the two columns. Supposedly, if I want to display this registration in the center, obviously, for label we created one column. For input box we created the another column. I want to merge this both the columns. I want to merge this both the column. So what I will do, with the th tag I will use one attribute, call it as call span, and can you tell me how many columns I want to merge? Can you tell me how many columns I want to merge? Exactly. So we have to merge two columns. That's the reason I will pass here value as 2. Just save it, go to the browser and now refresh it. You will get the correct output. So remember, I merged this first column with the second column. How you can do this? For that, in your row, in one row you have to create only one column. Okay, with this you have to use one attribute, call it as call span, and here you have to pass the value that how many columns you want to merge. You have to pass the value here how many columns you want to merge. For example, suppose we this register button also I want to display in the center of this label as well as this particular input box. So what I will do, first thing I'm going to remove this extra td. I will remove this extra td tag, and here simply I'm just going to use the call span attribute and I will pass the value as 2. Save it, go to the browser, refresh it, and you will get. Now, this is the center of label including this input box. But it is not looking properly. That's the reason I don't want to create this. Just save it and refresh. This is okay. So remember, whenever you want to merge the two columns, that time we are going to use call span attribute. This call span attribute, either you can go with the th tag or you can use with the td tag. Either you can go with the th tag or you can use the td tag. Why we are using this attribute? Just to merge the columns. Just to merge the column. Here, write down the notes. Is it completed? Did we done with the text formatting tags? Did we done with the text formatting tag? Wait. So we are going to learn the text formatting tags, nothing but how to represent the text in a bold format as well as italic format somehow. Then how to array. It is like it. We are calling it as manners. If anyone said you sorry, that person have the manners. Why? Because if you did mistake, you should say the sorry. Okay, so here, first task is I want to represent the text in a bold format. So for this, I am going to use one tag, call it as strong tag. For this, we are going to use this tag, call it as strong tag. If you want to represent the text in an italic format, then we are going to use the tag, call it as EM tag. EM stands for emphasis. So observe here how it can possible. Same. In the same web page, we will perform the task. Supposedly here, just give the label, close the label, and give the label as welcome to HTML world. Save it, go to the browser, refresh it. Okay, so this is your particular sentence. This sentence I want to represent in a bold format. So simple concept. Just place this whole sentence in a strong tag. Open the strong tag, and after this, close the strong tag. Just save it, go to the browser, refresh it. You will get that sentence in a bold format. So remember, in the HTML, if you want to represent any text in a bold format, you are going to use the tag, call it as strong tag. Similarly, next, screen is not visible. Refresh the web page site. Close the BR tag, and here again, I'm going to write the sentence. This is a text with italic format. So what I will do now, if you observe this text, it will appear in a normal format. I want to represent this text in an italic format. So for that, place this text inside the EM tag. After this text, just close the EM tag, save it, go to the browser, refresh it. Okay, so for the bold, we are using the strong tag, and for the italic, we are using the EM tag. Supposedly in the future, you want to highlight any text. In this particular sentence, I want to highlight the HTML. So what I will do, I am going to place this HTML inside the mark tag. For the highlight, if you want to highlight the text, that time you are going to use the mark tag. Before HTML, open the mark tag. After HTML, close the mark tag, save it, go to the browser and refresh it. Are you able to see? You will get highlighting text. You will get highlighted color only for the HTML. So remember guys, for the bold effect, which tag I have to use? For the bold effect, which tag we are using? Girls, are you there, girls? I'm not getting the response from girls itself. Only they are asking the question. That's it. Okay, if you want to change the highlighted color, then you can go with the background color CSS property. Okay, done. So tell me, if I want to represent the text in italic format, which tag we are using? Yeah, by default, you will get the highlighting color as a yellow. Correct, we are using the EM tag for the italic effect and we are using the mark tag for the highlighting. Supposedly I want to highlight this particular italic with lime color or light green color. So what I will do with this italic, use one attribute, with the mark tag, use one attribute, call it as style. Within this style, tell me which CSS property I have to use? Any guesses which CSS property? No, guys. We have to use the background color CSS property. And for this background color CSS property, I'm just going to pass the value as violet. And end with the semicolon, save it, go to the browser, refresh it. Are you able to get the different color? So you can change the highlighting color, no problem at all. Everyone understood this, all the three tags? Just try to use it then. Okay, good then. Ma'am, can we do inside input box? Yes, it is possible, but we will learn that in the CSS. It is not possible just by using the HTML. You just write down the notes. Marquee tag. Why we are using marquee tag? If you want the text in a scrolling format, if you want any text in a scrolling format on your web page, that time we are going to use the marquee tag. I think many times you can observe that scrolling text on your particular IRCTC website or banking website. Did you observe red color text will get scroll every time on the website? SBI website, if you open any time, you will get one scrolling text. Yeah. So whenever you want to display this kind of notes, yeah, stock market, correct. So here just to display the scrolling text on the web page, we are using the marquee tag. To display the scrolling text on the web page, we are using the marquee tag. Now you have question, ma'am. All the tags are appearing in a blue color. Why marquee tag is appearing in a yellowish color or yellow green color? So the reason behind that, here we are learning the HTML5. Here we are learning the version HTML5, and from the HTML5 they remove marquee tag. Nowadays HTML5 version is going on, and from this HTML5 they remove the marquee tag. That's the reason it is appearing in that particular color. So whenever any tag gets removed from your particular version, that kind of tags we are calling it as a deprecated tag. That kind of tags we are calling it as a deprecated tag. So remember, marquee tag is not present in HTML5. It gets removed from the HTML5, but still you can use that tag. Okay, but still you can use that tag. And how it is working, just observe here. So full stack Java developer. If you want to change the color of this text, can you tell me the which attribute I have to use here? If I want to change the color of this text, then which attribute I have to use with the marquee tag? Can you tell me the attribute name? Exactly, we have to use the style attribute. And which CSS property we have to use over here? Correct, we have to use the color CSS property, pass the color as red, save it, go to the browser and just refresh it. Just wait. Are you able to get that scrolling text? Are you able to observe this scrolling text on the web page? So remember guys, whenever you want to display this scrolling text on the browser, that time you have to use one tag called it as marquee tag to change the color of the marquee, to change the text color. Obviously, we are going to use the style tag. Now, if anyone have doubt, ma'am, I want to increase the speed of this scrolling text. I want to increase the speed of this scrolling text. That time, what you will do with this marquee tag, we are going to use the another attribute called it as scroll amount. With this marquee tag, we are using the another attribute called it as scroll amount, and for this scroll amount we are passing the value. Supposedly I am going to pass the value as 20, save it, go to the browser and refresh it. Are you able to see any difference in the speed of scrolling text? If you gave here 50 as a value, again you can observe that. So remember, whether you want to increase the speed of scrolling text, you can increase by using one attribute runs like a metro, correct? So you can increase that speed by using the scroll amount, and here you can pass the value, whatever the value you want to assign. Just try to use this mark you tag. Left to right. So that time what we will do, just observe here. I will use the BR tag, one more, and after this I will use the mark you tag. Close the mark you tag. In this, I will just give text as left to right. And to change the direction, I will use the direction attribute, and here I will pass the value as right. Just go to the web page, and are you able to get now text is scrolling left to right? If you want this text in a bold format, you can use the strong taggers. Close this strong tag. Just save it, go to the browser and refresh it. You will get this text in a bold format. So you can change the direction of the text by using the direction attribute and just pass the value as right. Bye bye, take care. Have a great evening.